Hey, what's going on, guys? Today is the 1st of October 2017. I'm going to be going over this week's trade ideas. Sorry about the charts and video being a little bit late today, but that's how life goes sometimes. Number one on the list is Cara. So why I'm looking at this chart is because I kind of liked how the chart started to reverse a little bit at the bottom. If you do a simple trend line from here to here, you'll see that the chart did break that small downtrend, and it is maintaining a decent uptrend here also. So now that we're coming up into this area where the chart's starting to reverse, I think that we have a potential move here. Now I don't feel like the chart's just going to continue to pop right out of the out of this breakout here. I think it actually comes back and retests. So this area ends up to be about $13.50, where then the chart comes back and retests this breakout zone. So just to make that a little bit clearer, now that the chart broke over, I'd like it to come back and retest. So that number exactly is 1348. So about 1350 is a decent area for this chart. And a retest on the breakout should then give us a continuation over and an add over Friday's session high. Friday's session high was about 1404. And so an add over that. So an entry somewhere about 1350 with an add over 1404 should be a decent way to trade this chart coming into this week. It also has a potential for a little bit more, so some sort of a day trade into a position type of a swing trade idea here. Wpcs is the next one up on the list. Now this is a small one, so you're probably saying, hey, why? Well, I think that the chart still has a move to it. There's a lot of volume that came into it on Friday, and even right at the close, there was still a decent amount of volume coming into the chart. So I think the chart pulls back a little bit, finds some support somewhere closer to this double top breakout right at about the 167. So ideally, I'd like for the chart to come back right up into this 167 here, and then give us a continuation play. Now, as with these types of charts, if you are trying to play them, make sure that if you're in, and then you put a stop somewhere, because it's not something that you want to say, well, I'm in and it's going to recover. It's something that either you get into it, it stays in play, or you exit the trade. Okay, so if the chart comes back to that 167 is great. If the chart gets back over the 195, gives you an area for an add on WPCS. Third one on the list is HRL. Chart's got a nice little 813 crossover here on the daily, and if you look over here, the charts make an attempt to come back into this gap. So it's not a huge range chart, but it could be something that has a little bit of a structured trade to it. Not every trade has to be a point gainer or points gainer to be a very productive trade. It just has to be done properly. So if the chart was to break over Friday's session high, it's going to put you into this gap, and that's where we can have a nice little upside move up until about this $33.50 range, where it's going to come into resistance areas here. So for me, I'd play it on the long side only if it breaks over Friday's session high, which is at $32.36. The next one on the list is Aaoi. There's a lot of attention on the chart, but I like the chart in general. I feel like it's kind of hovering in this area. It keeps getting volume on it, and on Friday it had a decent amount of volume that came into it in the early half of Friday's session and right up into the close. So I'm thinking Aaoi has a potential to actually just have a nice move on Monday. So I'm looking at this one for a play. I'll probably play it on the long side versus the low of Friday and try to see if I get it to break over the high. And the Friday's high session was about 66.21. So a break over there could really get the chart moving up into that $69 range. So as far as Aaoi, I'm looking to play this chart based on getting some sort of a risk reward from Friday session's low. MNK is number 5 on the list. We're starting to curl up on this one, and what you have to notice is that the chart just broke a little downtrend to the upside. Friday's session had a nice strong candle, big buyer into the close. That's why I'm very interested in this one. A pullback on this one to about 36.94 gets us into that area of support, and then once we can break through this pivot point, you'll see that the chart hit basically a triple top and had an issue with that. So once we can get the pullback and find some support and we play it on the long side, if the chart breaks over Friday session high, then you do an add into it. This can also set up to be not just a day trade, but something that you hold on because the chart's already reversing on the daily, and that's the idea that you want to look for continuation plays anyways. Number 6 on the list is Zillow. Huge buyer during the day on this chart, right about that 10:30 time. That's what gets me interested into this chart. But the thing is that I don't like to play charts that stay into channels for a while because no matter how much it is bullish, it's not breaking out. And so for this chart, I'd only play it for this breakout here. The reason why it's on this video is because that breakout comes right about the $41 area, and chart closed at 40.21. So I'm thinking that if we can get the break over 41, it then becomes a playable chart as it comes out of this channel. You don't need to keep into a chart inside of this channel. If you're day trading it, scalp trading it, that's different. But if there's any other bigger move intentions, you never need to force a chart inside of a channel. The safest way to play one of these channel type charts is actually wait for it to break up or to break to the downside before you take a position, because money being spent here is just dead money that you could be using somewhere else for a better productive trade. Number 7 on the list is Lululemon. So we've had a couple strong days on this one. Big buyer into the close on Friday gets me interested in this chart for that breakout. Now the thing is that these buyers here that have come into the chart gives me an idea that maybe the chart comes up to retest this zone. Maybe we do get a break over Friday session high. The problem is that from these buyers that bought this dip down in the 57s, they may actually want to take some money off of it. If you can see also that the chart would be giving you some, some sort of a head and shoulder pattern here as it's approaching this trend line. And so I'm thinking if the chart pops up to about 62.50 on Lululemon, we'd be looking for a short idea off of some profit taken against that trend zone. Number 8 on the list is THO. We know that they've had good earnings and the chart continues to move to the upside. We haven't seen big profit takers on the chart yet. That's what I'm looking for. So from a measured move, I'm getting somewhere closer to about 130 on this chart for that area on the short side. And so I'm thinking if the chart pops up because of the way that the chart still has strength, I'm thinking if we get up to about 130, I'm interested in taking a short position on this one. And there were Friday on Friday session into the close, there were some sellers there. And so these sellers got me into the idea that, hey, maybe we're ready to bring the chart down a little bit, even with the good earnings. There are people that have been in from the $100 level, so these people may want to take some money off. So I'm thinking if the chart pops up to that 130 level, I'm looking for a short trade on THO. Number 9 on the list is PANW. Nice looking chart, 813 cross on the daily here, right over the 50 EMA. You can see how the 50 EMA held for decent support. Now that we're coming into an area where the chart has potential breakout, you can see it tested that trend line right to the penny on Friday. I'm thinking we get a pullback on this one. I'm looking somewhere closer to about 143.50, 143.25, where the chart's going to come back into some support zone. And that's where I'm thinking that we can play it on the long side. So here's that little wedge. Chart comes back here to about 143.25, and then we play it on the long side. I do think that we get the break of the flag to the upside. So I'm interested in playing it on the long side with the pullback to about 143.25 on PANW. And number 10 on the list is BZUN. Chart's been wrecked for a few sessions straight. We've had about 2 weeks of straight red candles on this one. And I'm thinking as the chart's coming up to the 50 EMA here, there's a decent area for support. If you do a horizontal line across the 50 EMA, you'll see that this chart did have a decent reaction in this range before. And also we're getting down to where we could be doing a decent retrace off of the big move that we've had here. Now, so off of the big move and the chart retracing, when it finds a decent support area, it might actually hold. So I'm looking for the chart to continue pulling a little bit into this week, maybe even as close as in Monday. Pull on BZUN for then a long trade into the day, and possibly, if we get a nice enough move, a continuation move also on this chart. So those are the 10 names that I'm looking at into this week, and there are also a lot of them. I've tweeted a few of them, and there are also a lot of charts out there that's very interesting this week, and so we'll try to see as much of them as we can capture moves on. For those of you guys that don't follow me, here's my Twitter handle at Iceman Trading. And for those of you guys that are interested in a little bit more about what we do at Iceman Trading, you can check out the website icemantradingacademy.com, and there you'll find links to pretty much everything that we do, and also sign up pages, and you can get yourself trading with us here at Iceman Trading. Have a great week, guys. Take care.